Welcome back, fisher people, to another fly tying video from Broken Water Outfitters. This video is going to be another one in our caddis series. Today I'm going to show you the Caddis Emerger pattern that I fish. As you watch more of these videos, if you're following along, you're going to start to realize that I kind of have an obsession with putting CDC into flies. I really like this Emerger pattern. You can fish it in the film, you can fish it on top. CDC is one of those magical materials that just seems to elicit strikes from fish. Very effective. Tie some up, try it out. As always, I want to thank everybody out there liking, subscribing, sharing these videos, and following along with us. Really appreciate it. That's enough for me. Let me show you this pattern.
All right, we're going to start out with a size either 14 or 16 scud pupa or curved caddis hook. Start your thread about the midpoint on the hook, snip your tag end or break it. Now we're going to come in here and we're going to put in our Antron yarn. Here I'm using gold color. This is one of my favorite colors to use. Secure that down into the bend of the hook, then smooth everything out on your way back up. We're going to create kind of a short stubby tail. That's going to represent the trailing shuck. Now we're going to tie in our ribbing. Here we're using a size small amber wire. Again, secure that, taking wraps all the way down to where that tail or shuck starts. And then work your thread back up and smooth out the body a little bit. Now we're going to create a dubbing noodle. For this pattern, I like to use a hare's ear Antron dubbing. This is one of my favorite dubbings to use on more generalized patterns, but I really do like the way it looks, so I'm trying to replicate tan caddis. Start your dubbing wraps right at the base of the hook. Work your way up, creating a taper. It's always easier to come back in and add more dubbing as opposed to having too much and having to try to take it away. We're going to work that dubbing up to just before our initial tie-in point where we started our thread. We're going to take our rib. We're going to make open spiral wraps up the hook shank. Make sure that your segments are somewhat even. We're going to secure that wire. We're going to helicopter it off. I like to take a couple wraps around the wire itself with the thread, and then a couple securing wraps over top and front and behind. Pull tight. Helicopter that wire, it'll break right off. If you did it right, the rib's not going to move. Clean that area out, smooth it up a little bit. Now you're going to come in, you're going to tie in your Ostrich Herl. Here I'm using a brown colored Ostrich Herl. It's a pretty brittle material. I don't like to tie it in by itself, so I'm tying in 2 strands. I then use a pair of hackle pliers that have the ability to twist. So I'll twist this material up on itself, kind of quarter it up a little bit before I wrap it. Don't get carried away with this. If you try doing too many twists, you're just going to break it off. Start wrapping that material. Wet your fingers a little bit and kind of push those hackles back. Just so you're not wrapping over top when we want that nice kind of buggy thorax here. Once you get that wrapped in, we're going to take some thread wraps over top, and then we're going to pull it back and wrap over top again. And then you could either break or snip this free. smooth everything back, clean this up a little bit with your thread. Now we're going to create a dubbing loop. And then we're going to take our CDC that we already have prepped in a dubbing clip. We're going to slide that in. Here we're using tan with this pattern. You give it a couple spins to cord that up and secure it. Be careful you're not trapping any of those CDC fibers into the loop. Force those fibers back and start taking wraps, working your way forward. CDC has all these little microfibers that kind of trap air bubbles, and it's just a magic material on flies. Take a couple wraps around your thread and then up over top before you clip the loop off. Clean up the head a little bit. Put a couple lip finish knots on here. Careful you're not trapping any of those CDC fibers into your knots. Put a little head cement on there just for some added durability. And that's it. That's my Caddis CDC Emerger pattern. I've had a lot of luck with this pattern. Hope you do too. And as always, get out there, get after it, and hunt the water.